She enrolled at ASU as a microbiology student, and in her third year, she's pretty much completed her undergraduate work, so now she's focused primarily on her dream of becoming a pediatric neurologist. In addition to being a student, Nayeli works for the Hispanic Mother-Daughter program at ASU. She also is the Student Observership Coordinator at St. Joseph's Brains Clinic, and she's the Vice President of the ASU Neuroscience Society. As if that's not enough. This is where it gets interesting. She is currently conducting vital medical research with a team of ASU doctors as part of her graduate honors work. I'll let her expand on it, but I'm not exaggerating when I tell you she truly is a person who might someday cure a dreaded disease. In a moment, you're going to meet Nayeli. She is a prime example of why we must invest to ensure that every high-potential student in our state is not only able to access a college education, but also succeed once they get there. We must get these people in the game. Before Nayeli comes to the podium, I want to thank her mother and godmother for being here today. Without the forethought shown by her mother to prioritize education and to be part of college preparedness programs, Nayeli may not have had the opportunity to achieve her dream, and collectively, we would not have the opportunity to gain the benefit of what she is going to accomplish for our society. So please join me in thanking and welcoming Nayeli's mother and godmother here today. Now, please help me welcome Nayeli Apablasa to the stage. Nayeli.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone? I'm kind of nervous. I don't know if you can tell. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Nayeli Apablasa. I'm a third year at Arizona State University. I'm also a member of Barrett the Honors College. Today I've been asked to talk about my experiences. It's interesting that I've been asked to do this. I thought my journey was from, a kid to now a young adult is quite similar to many of you, or a few of you, but I've met many amazing people here in this room today. So I just want to ask this question. I'm always interested. Can you remember a time when you were young and somebody asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember. How many of you wanted to be a lawyer? Okay, we got a few. How about a firefighter? Oh, we got a few over there. I wanted to be a princess. Yes. I still think I want to be a princess. But whenever I was asked that question, I always answered with the same thing. I want to be a doctor. Not just because I get to wear that fancy white coat, although I think I look really good in it, but because what it symbolizes. Not only does it say, I'm here to help people, but I'm here to educate people too. So I've always dreamed about being a doctor. And it wasn't until 7th grade where I finally realized I wanted to just study, not just study medicine, but more than medicine. I wanted to be a scientist. Well, kind of like a mad scientist, but we'll just leave it as a scientist now. In 7th grade, I was looking at through a light microscope, and I saw a microorganism for the first time. And it opened my eyes to the possibilities of what I could do with that. Can you just imagine a small virus or a germ that nobody can see with your naked eye, and it causes so many problems, or it helps us? So I found that amazing. Well, I went home that day, and I go up to my mom, and I said, Mom, I want to be a scientist, but I also want to be a doctor. So she looked at me and she goes, okay, we'll find a way. Being a first-generation student, my mom didn't have an idea of where to help me. So we started looking for resources. And we found this program called the Hispanic Mother-Daughter Program. Because of this program, I'm here, standing in front of you, speaking. They were able to help me and guide me to how to apply to university, how to find funding for it. So, I ended up applying to Arizona State University, and I got in. I was so excited. And then I got another letter saying I was admitted to Barrett the Honors College. I kept jumping up and down. I was so excited. And now that, that was in high school. And all through high school, I was smart. I can say I was smart. My freshman year, I took regular classes, the freshman Chem Phys and English that nobody really likes. Well, unless you're a lit major, it's okay. But what I was very passionate about was science. So I wanted to take as many science classes as I could. And my science teacher at the time told me, why don't you try honors classes, or AP classes or dual enrollment classes? I was like, that sounds okay. Okay, I'll do that. So my sophomore year, I jumped into it. Honors, AP, dual enrollment, very difficult. I think I chewed too much, or a bit too much to chew. Yeah. It was very difficult for me to adjust. I wasn't ready for, well, I thought I wasn't ready for that big jump of getting into that honors track. But I stick through it. And if it wasn't for the support of my parents and my family, I probably would have backed down and said, you know what, this is too hard for me. But there's this one class that gave me the most difficulty, geometry. Who here likes geometry? Wow. I give you a pat on the back because I still get chills talking about this class. You can't see them, but I have goosebumps. I do not like geometry. This class gave me the most difficulty. I kept thinking, wow, I'm not smart enough for this class. I shouldn't be in this honors class. I was afraid of asking questions because I was so terrified of this subject. Well, I got pushed to ask questions. I started learning to ask for help. And that really helped. And now that I look back, I'm glad that I did. And I didn't drop off, and I didn't say, well, that was too hard, so I went down and took a regular geometry class instead of an honors geometry class. I'm glad that my teacher pushed me, and that was a really well-earned B. I swear, that class gave me the most headaches, the most frustration, tears, everything. But now that I'm in college and I look back at it, I think, wow, that was a really easy class. Man, Calculus 3 is really hard, but nothing compared to geometry. So, now, once I got into ASU, my freshman year was very difficult because, one, I was taking a lot of really upper deficient classes. I started as a second-year sophomore at Arizona State University because of all my AP credits and my dual enrollment. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I worked really hard in high school. And after that, I started finding all these opportunities that I was provided with. And they just came in my path. And I networked a lot my freshman year, and I kind of just threw myself out there, asked lots of questions, went and saw my professors, talked to them all the time. I even had coffee with them, which was great. I love Starbucks. So, my sophomore year of I went up to a professor and I realized that he was doing some amazing research. I thought it was sci-fi, like Star Trek or Star Wars. I think it was amazing. He was using lasers to kill bacteria. And I was thinking, well, if we can kill bacteria with this, can we use it to kill, say, a virus, such as HIV? Well, I went up to him and I asked him one question. I said, could I try to do this with a different virus and potentially cure an epidemic? A self-sustained epidemic that is ruining people's lives, families, communities. And he said, we can try. I said, that's great. So I ended up talking to another professor. He's a virologist, Dr. Bertram Jacobs. And I asked him the same question. And he goes, well, let's get a team together. So now I have a physicist who created the laser, a virologist who's an expert and created a vaccine for HIV, his postdoc, Dr. Karen Kibler, and a microbiologist, Dr. Valerie Stout. Now, all four of them are helping me come up with a cure, or at least a treatment, to help solve this epidemic of HIV and AIDS. Now, I think that's amazing. Thank you. And this opportunity wouldn't have happened if I didn't have your support, especially for Legacy Foundation. If anyone's out there? Woo. Thank you very, very much. Because of you, I'm here, and I'm doing this amazing research. And I think that's amazing, that not only am I impacting today's community, but maybe one day the world. And that's amazing. Now, remember I told you I came in with a lot of credits for high school? That means, well, I'm a third-year junior here at Arizona State University. I'm actually graduating this May. And I want to continue this research, see where it leads, and hopefully find a cure or a treatment for such a horrible, horrible disease that we have. So I'm going to continue on with my education. It still worries me every so often about funding and where life is going to take me and what the future holds. But the most important thing that I've learned in college is that you might fall once in a while, make a mistake, and it's okay, as long as you don't repeat it. Or if you do repeat it, get back up and try not to repeat it again. But if you do it again, just don't keep doing it. You know, just stop. But the most important thing that I've learned is to never give up and to continue on your education, to do anything possible to help better yourself and the community. So that way you can better the world. So I'm deciding to continue on my education and receive my master's in nanoscience, because that's where I think medicine is heading towards these days. And then continue on to medical school and accomplish my dream of becoming a pediatric neurologist. Each step that I'm doing is one step closer to accomplishing my dream. So all of you who raised up their hands, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a princess. Well, all these little steps got you to where you're at currently. And I want to be like that. And it's because of ACSF and everything, all my support, my sponsors, my donors, all my scholarships, that I'm here. And if we can continue on and help other students like me, it's amazing to see what their potential can